All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. I hope you're good, I hope you're healthy, I hope you're wealthy, I hope you're safe. Let's go ahead and talk some crypto. All right, today we're continuing our series on currency and money and in its history. Where is it today and where is it going tomorrow and in the future? And to go through this series very quickly, we first started talking about the role of currency. What is its purpose? What does it do in the economy? We then followed up with the different types of currency that have been used historically, whether it's precious metals, precious gems, stones, shells, basically you name it, we've used it as currency at some point in human history. We also talked about the trouble with currency and how if you have a lot of it, or if you're the one that controls the supply of it, you can become corrupt and you can do bad things like debasing your currency, where you add a baser metal to the precious metals, and that creates inflation, which is where we last left off. We talked about the good, the bad, and the ugly of inflation. Today we're talking about modern currency. All right. The first thing to know is that starting around the 1600s, specifically 1618 to 1648, in Europe there was basically a continental civil war. It's known as the 30 Years' War. It lasted for 30 years because people aren't, especially historians, aren't clever when it comes to naming things. So we had the 30-Year War, at the end of which we had the Treaty of Westphalia. The important thing to know about the Treaty of Westphalia was that basically, instead of having a religion like Catholicism determine how nations would end a war, you have the nations themselves sending ambassadors with diplomatic immunity to a common ground that they could all meet on safely and figure out how they were going to end this war. This is a huge leap forward when we talk about politics specifically. Social sciences. This was a huge advancement for humanity. But out of this, what we see is nations start to become more involved in managing their own foreign and domestic policies. Rulers, and as we get into the revolutions, basically instead of a single king and queen or monarchy ruling, or even oligarchies, you start to see the advancement of democracy, and you have democratically elected leaders that are making the decisions about foreign and domestic policy. This includes monetary policy. So you have these nations, they start creating their own forms of currency. The currency is not backed by a ruler, not backed by a ruler's promise. It is backed by a nation. It is a national currency. It is nationally adopted. And that is a huge advancement. For instance, as I mentioned before, I do have some historical coins here. Let's see if I can get it to focus. It was working for me earlier. Come on. Anyways, this is Roman Emperor Gordian III. There we go. That's a little bit better. Basically around 250 AD is what we're going to say. This coin is made by him. It's promised by him. It's delivered by him. This is him saying this thing has value. Then what we see is, for instance, like in the United States, we see the adoption of new currency. So here's a walking Lady Liberty. And what does it say at the top there? Let's try this. Come on, you focus. There it goes. United States of America. Yeah, this is backed not by an individual. This is backed by a nation. It is a national currency. All right, now what's important to know and understand about this is that coins like this actually have precious metals baked right into them. When they are minting this actually had silver in it. Most coins historically have been made of a precious metal, and it actually contains precious metals. We're going to be talking about in our next video about how basically the United States abandoned that gold standard and decided to do its own thing, and also how that's affected the rest of the world too, because a little preview here, the rest of the world really needs those US dollars. All right, please come back, like, subscribe, follow, click on the videos, follow the channel. The next video will be coming out tomorrow, and hopefully that'll be a good one with a whole lot of information about how we basically said the gold standard and moved on. All right. Other than that, I hope you have a good one.